Hey guys, we got another clone console to check out today. This time it is a Super Nintendo version. I've been adding to my retro game library recently and I got the retro USB AVS for my NES games. Originally I got the old school Classic 2 HD which played both NES and Super Nintendo. Couldn't deal with the sound issues on the NES side. Super Nintendo side wasn't too bad, but the games were really dark, they look washed out, so it wasn't as bad as the Nintendo, but I know I wanted something better. And since the retro USB AVS is an FPGA console, I was looking for the Super Nintendo variant of that. And there's only one out there, the analog Super NT, which has been sold out forever. Unless I go to eBay or something and pay way too much for it. And that wasn't an option, so that left me with two other choices. I could go the emulation route, or I can do the system on chip route. I never really understood going the emulation route when you're playing original cartridges, because then I could just emulate the ROMs. So I looked at my options for the system on chip, and once again, wasn't impressed with the Classic 2 HD. I did a little bit more research after I got that one. After watching a few reviews and getting some advice from you guys, I settled on the Hyperkin SupaRetroN HD. Cass got this for me for my birthday, so I could have asked for a better birthday present. A lot of people are praising this system for the quality it outputs. It is an HDMI output system. It outputs to 720p, and it comes with the Hyperkin Pin Perfect technology, which I think is great because another one of the issues I was having with the old school is how badly it gripped those games, and I didn't like the feel when taking them out of the system. So hopefully this is a little bit better. Let's start off with taking a look at what comes inside the box. Oh wow, you are greeted by that purple right away. Very cool. Got a couple markings here. We got two controllers with this system. Let's take this part off first. Goodbye. Two controllers here. We'll go into more detail on the controllers after I take them out of the plastic. Here is our system. Looks great, even in the plastic. Instruction manual. We have this warning here telling you to use a USB wall AC adapter with at least 5 volts, 1 amp. Got a standard HDMI cable. Oh, so apparently it does come with its own USB adapter. That warning gave me the impression it wasn't going to come with this. So yeah, as well as the USB, micro USB power cable. And composite cables, I didn't even know you could output composite with this system, so that's cool. First thing, let's take a look at these controllers. Feels a little light. D-pad feels great though, wow. D-pad feels awesome. Start and select, nice and squishy. L and R, oh yeah. These L and R buttons feel perfect. Wow, they feel exactly like the original. I love that. But the big test here is going to be these face buttons, the A, B, X, Y buttons. Let's see how they feel. Ooh, we're good so far. Oh my gosh, these feel perfect. When I got the Classic 2 HD, I was so disappointed in the Super Nintendo controller on that. These feel great. Oh, I'm so happy with this controller. Like I said, it does feel a little light, but besides that, it feels nice. And on the back, it does have these kind of raised areas for like grips. Kind of different, not what I'm used to, considering the original Super Nintendo controller was flat on the back. So, but I feel like everything else feels really great. Also, just like the original US Super Nintendo, the A and B buttons are convex and the X and Y buttons are concave. Here's a better angle of those buttons so you can see what I'm talking about. And they got the coloring exactly right, with the A and B being in dark purple, X and Y being in a lighter purple. Overall, I'm extremely happy with the feel of the controller. And here's the system itself, very reminiscent of the original Super Nintendo that was released here in the States. You got the power button on and off, reset button. Feels like it's a little spring-loaded, kind of cool. One of the main reasons I wanted this system was for this right here, the eject button. When I was using the Classic 2 HD, pulling the games out was a little bit tough, and I didn't like how it felt, and it felt like it was scraping the cartridges. So this was a huge sell for me, this eject button. In the cartridge bay, we have the pins here, as well as the little expanded pins for the FX chip games. If I can hold this open, you can see pushing the eject button moves a little lever on each side. On the front, you have two controller ports for multiplayer gaming. Just like their other Hyperkin products and the box, you have that chopped off corner here. When you power on the system, you get a nice purple glow on that icon. On the bottom of the system is the NTSC-N PAL switch, so you can play PAL games on this. All you have to do is flip that switch over and they should run perfectly. On the back of the system, you have the micro USB power input, HDMI output, composite yellow, white, and red output. Then the screen ratio button, 16:9 or 4:3. We're just going to move that over there and never change it. Inserting and removing games feels very good. It doesn't feel like the pins are squeezing the games too tight. And the eject button is perfect. That is a great addition to the system. Pops the games out very easily, doesn't feel rough at all. And there you have it, everything that comes with the Hyperkin SupaRetroN HD. So we have a lot of features here. You have the PAL NTSC switch, the ability to output both an HDMI and composite, which I wasn't aware of originally. The aspect ratio switch, which should never come off 4x3. But again, my favorite thing about this system, the eject button. This being a system-on-chip system, it doesn't have any fancy features or anything like that, like an emulation system or FPGA. Insert the game, power on, and you're good to go. So there's no features or menu system to take a look at. Let's pop in a few Super Nintendo games and see how the quality is on the SupaRetroN HD. When you first start up the SupaRetroN HD, you're greeted with this Hyperkin screen, which is actually a little annoying because you know who made the system. It's already on the box, and the console, and the controller. This is unnecessary. But once that screen goes away, your game starts up and the graphics look incredible. All the colors are nice and bright. The sound is great. If you do wish to change the aspect ratio while in game, you can do that by flipping the switch in the back. I of course prefer 4x3, it's a more authentic experience, and I hate 16:9 because it stretches these games out way too much. They don't look anything like the original like that. I recently picked up a few Super Nintendo games off eBay, so let's do a quick comparison between them running on the SupaRetroN HD and the SNES Classic. So I am really impressed overall with the output of the SupaRetroN HD. These graphics look so nice and so crisp. Such a huge difference between this and the classic 2 HD. It's almost like it's running on a different chip. I really have no complaints about the sound or graphics. It may not be FPGA, but it looks really good in HDMI. The graphics are nice and bright, unlike the old school 2 HD. These run between $60 and $70, so for a more casual gamer like me, this was totally worth it. Less than half the price of the FPGA consoles, and you still get great HD quality. I can't wait to keep adding to my Super Nintendo library and trying the games out on the system. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the Hyperkin SupaRetroN HD. Is it something you would be interested in? Or would you prefer to spend the extra money and get the analog Super NT, if they were in stock? And that's all I got for you guys. Make sure to leave a comment below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Game library recently, and I got the... After watching a few reviews, let's start off with taking. Really impressed with the output of this system. Really impressed with the output of this system. Really impressed with the output of this system. Here's a better. And there you go. Everything that comes with the Hyperkin SupaRetroN. When you first start up the SupaRetroN H... Oh wait, I need to... If you do wish to use the... Uh-oh. Okay. Stop you. And stop you. This is the part of the video where I thank those users who support the channel through YouTube memberships and Patreon. Jordy Alex, Rick67, Travis Morton, Mike Muniz, Sam Torres, Yaroslav Orudzov, Andre G, Den Cardoso, Dor, Jason Hallbrooks, Craig Livesley, Magnesium Winterjuice, John Westby, and Batman.